hold it like this the entire time. What's going on, everyone? It's Evan and Megan again, and welcome back to Tube Travels. Today's video is going to be a little different than what we normally do, and that is because, well, okay, really quick, we're in Querétaro. It's a city here in the very middle of Mexico. It's about 1 million people, and we've been here for 3 weeks. The motorcycle is in the Triumph shop here in Querétaro because it needs a new clutch. If you saw some of the previous videos, you know that we really put it through the ringer in the jungle there, and yeah. So, long story short, we were in a city called Alaskan, and the motorcycle just wouldn't move. The clutch was completely burnt out. That's when we realized we had to get it fixed. So, Megan, why don't you tell everyone how we got here?
So we must have had the luck of the gods or something, but we are part of a Pan-American Facebook group, and Evan posted on there just kind of asking for help in general, like what we should do. And someone who actually lived in Querétaro replied and said, hey, I'm going to be in Alaskan for work, and I can just drive your motorcycle back for you. So we're like, oh my gosh, this is incredible, like awesome. So we met Armando, who... shout out to Armando, thank you for saving us. He and Evan took his truck to Querétaro, about 3 hours away, and they didn't have room for me in the car, so I took a bus from Alaskan to Querétaro, which the 3-hour car ride took about 5.5 hours on bus. But it was a fun experience. I just chilled and sat next to a bunch of abuelas and ate some peanuts. It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we got here.
He towed us here, we loaded up the motorcycle in the back of the truck and dropped it off at the shop. The clutch was going to take 5 weeks to get here if we ordered from the shop, so what we ended up doing was ordering it from the United States to a buddy of ours who was going to then ship it down here. The problem is we shipped it to the dealership, and customs ended up seizing it before it got to the dealership because they thought the dealership was going to turn around and sell it for money. They didn't know that it was going to be for me. So they seized it and they wanted all this money, but in the process of seizing it or delivering it or something like that, it also got damaged. So it was this whole mess, and long story short, UPS is taking the package and shipping it back to the United States, and they're going to reimburse us for that. So we had to order a new one and get it reshipped to the Airbnb that we're staying at down here, which is where we've been for
3 weeks today.
3 weeks today now. But since we've been in Querétaro, we've done some stuff that we wanted to share with you guys and just kind of show and talk about our experience. First one being Armando, the guy who helped us out and towed the motorcycle here, was getting married the weekend that we were showing up, so he invited us to his wedding.
And we were like, heck yeah.
Yeah, it was our first Mexican wedding. Yeah. So why don't you tell them about that?
Well, first of all, people here in Mexico dress up for weddings to the nines, beautiful gowns and tuxedos, and we have 3 pairs of clothes, and so we showed up wearing our nicest travel clothes, which was subpar, but people were super friendly about it, and we went to the Catholic Mass for the ceremony, which, no offense if you're Catholic, was super boring.
It's terribly boring.
So boring. So many standing, kneeling.
Doesn't help that you don't speak the language.
Yeah, we didn't know what was going on. We ended up just making jokes to each other in the pews the whole time, and Evan was making me laugh so much I actually almost laughed out loud in the middle of the ceremony. So
that was awesome.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah.
And then after that, we went to the reception, which was this gorgeous place up in the mountains of Querétaro, and they didn't serve dinner until 10 p.m.
Yeah, no joke. We got there at...
It was 8:30.
Yeah, the wedding started at 7 and ended at 8:30, 9.
Yeah.
And then we took a car from the wedding to the reception, and then you got there, and then there was 30 to 45 minutes of sitting around waiting for people, and then...
Free cocktails, though.
Free cocktails, that was great, and little foods. And then everyone sits down to start eating, and it's 10:30, and by the time the main course came out, it was midnight. And we're tired, right? And we're just dude, this is nuts. And everyone's just oh, it's a Mexican wedding, you're gonna be until 5 in the morning. And we're
they're the shots haven't even come out yet.
Oh,
and we're
my God,
I don't know if we're prepared for this.
Yeah, we weren't prepared.
We are not the party animals we once were.
Yeah, we had fun, but we ended up dipping out early because we were really tired, and it was cold. Surprisingly,
yeah, it was really cold.
Very cold, so we weren't ready for that. But we had a really good time,
cool.
hanging out with the people there and eating really good food. So that was pretty neat.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah, so the Airbnb we're staying at is in a really nice area of Querétaro. It's like all gated off, and there's like a guard and a fence. In order to get in, you have to like sign in and everything. So it's super secure and really nice. That's been cool, but it is farther away from the city's downtown, and since we don't have a vehicle, we have to take Ubers everywhere.
Yeah, we're about 30 minutes from the downtown area.
Yeah, but luckily our host, Horacio, speaks English and wanted to take us out to a local market to get some really good food, which was a fantastic experience.
So fun.
Getting our hands on some like really authentic Mexican grub and having somebody who's a local take us to do it and like show us all of the good stuff, which I'm going to insert some of that footage here.
I think I'm going to ask different things.
Okay, what are we...
So this is the belly, the inner belly of the cow.
Yeah.
Outer belly of the cow. And it's like a soup.
A soup.
And it's soft.
Good.
Very flavorful. All right, Megan, what are we eating now?
Are these
This
the
is-
sopes?
Sope, chipon, chicharrón prensado.
Okay. Sopes.
Chicharrón. Got one more coming.
Wow. Okay,
Also
Horacio,
sope
so this is
with, picadillo.
picadillo,
Chicharrón prensado.
chicharrón, okay.
Relleno.
Chile relleno,
Relleno.
relleno,
Re,
relleno,
relleno.
relleno,
Relleno.
relleno.
You got
This
it.
is chile relleno. This is cafe de olla, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And this is the best coffee in the world. It's made with canelo, just cinnamon, and pencillo, and
Piloncillo.
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 And speaking of food and just kind of cool experiences, we were here for the Day of the Dead, which was really neat. So originally we had planned on going to Oaxaca, but that didn't work out because we were stranded here, waiting for the bike to be fixed, but it ended up turning out to be just fine. So what we did was we went to the city center to catch a parade, and that was pretty neat. We're here in the town square, and as you can see behind me are some different ofrendas done by, I'm guessing, different groups, people here in the city. I don't know who any of them are, but they're all pretty cool.
Despiértalas con una serenata.
Culturally down here, the Day of the Dead has a fair amount of significance, but people are, I would say, more into like Halloween.
Yeah.
Like, people like, there was Halloween, which was the end of October, right? And so everybody was dressed up. And then the Day of the Dead is very, it's not a crazy party. It's more laid back than a lot of people would think. There's like ofrendas, which are just almost like these shrines that people set up with certain kinds of flowers and foods and drinks of the people who they're acknowledging who have passed. There's a lot of really good food.
Mm-hmm.
We had some really, really good food at the parade down there. A lot of street food, tons of people out. So it was a cool experience.
Totally.
Nothing, and it wasn't like crazy,
Mm-hmm.
In the United States, sometimes Halloween is like this like crazy big event, and then we think of Day of the Dead being this like,
like a multi-day extension of Halloween.
Yeah.
But it's really not. It's a lot more, it's a more like family celebration time. And it's not, I wouldn't call it somber, but it's more of like a respectful, like respecting those who've passed in your family.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
yeah, it was cool.
We went to a museum. We went to a really cool art museum.
We went to 2 art museums in downtown, and one of the buildings is from
1700.
Yeah, 1700, and it has served as like military barracks and base. It was a post office for a little while. It has had like multiple functions, but in the 90s it was dedicated as a historic site in Querétaro, and it's just absolutely breathtaking, the building itself. The art inside was cool too, but I think that the building was probably cooler than the art.
Downtown Querétaro is really cool. It's like it is a really large city, so getting around can kind of be a pain in the ass. You know, it takes 35 to 40 minutes to get anywhere of any significance, especially if you're where we're at. But once you get down there, you can walk around. There's a lot of different plazas with things to see. And
We found a record store.
Found a really cool record store.
We got sushi.
Yeah, this place has like really good Asian food, and that's because, I want to say Samsung. I think it's Samsung. They have a base of operations here, and they manufacture their like TVs and different electronics, and so there's a huge South Korean population here, and because of that there's been a real influx of really good like ramen and sushi and different like Asian inspired foods. So it's not just Mexican food, which is nice because we really like Mexican food, but
we also love Asian food.
Yeah, when you eat Mexican food every day, like really greasy stuff, like they don't hold back on the grease
or
at
the
all.
cheese,
the cheese or the spice, so it can really mess you up if you're not careful.
The city itself is very, very safe. It's known as one of the safest cities in Mexico and one of the safest states as well. So like getting around downtown area or even the neighborhood we're in, it's just been like, it feels safer than like Portland or something.
The locals will tell you that, you know, the police aren't corrupt because they're paid well here. We haven't seen hardly any like street animals, which has been kind of nice, you know.
Nice.
That's definitely one of the hard things in Mexico is all the dogs. You see the dogs, but yeah, it's there's a lot of money here, so you see people driving around in cars nicer than you have, like Audis and BMWs and whatever. And people are just, you know, they're friendly, they're nice. There's a lot of dogs. There's a lot of pugs too.
So many pugs. We go on pug walks every single night. See at least one a day. It's fantastic.
It's pretty cool. Most of the days we just kind of wake up and we read and
hang out. Go for walks.
I like to play video games, so I've been catching up on that, which has been really nice. It's been kind of frustrating for us because we want to keep moving, but it's also been nice to just kind of like take a step back. And this would have had to have been done at one point or the other, and all things considered, it worked out really well. Like, getting things down here is going to be easier than if we were any farther in Central or South America, and we have people here who speak English and Spanish who can help us.
And it's a nice area.
It's a nice area, and we've been able to do some cool things that we wouldn't have been able to otherwise because of our access to locals who can speak English.
Yeah. So all in all, we're stuck, but it hasn't been bad.
So that's, kind of the update there, and you know, why we haven't been putting out a whole bunch of content, because there really hasn't been anything to do. Let me see, if you like this video, please give it a like. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. You know, just a couple little clicks for you means a whole lot for us. We're really close to...
You can make us eternally happy.
Yeah. You know, we're just doing this for fun, and we like it if you like it. So
but we desperately seek your approval. So.
Oh, totally. Definitely. All right, cool. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We look forward to seeing you in the next video. Much love.
Bye.
Peace.